It was supposed to be just another October afternoon. The kind where the sky hangs heavy and the world feels wrong. One moment the cafeteria was alive with noise and laughter, and the next, 4 violent cracks tore through the air. Not thunder, not fireworks. Gunshots. Students screamed, teachers scattered, panic exploded in every direction. And somewhere outside, a man stood perfectly still, staring at the building, gripping a gun. We weren't hiding from danger anymore. We were trapped with it. The sky hung low over the school, like a storm ready to burst. Thick grey clouds swallowed the sunlight whole, pressing down until it felt like the world was holding its breath. Inside, the cafeteria buzzed with chaos. Music playing through someone's speaker, trays slamming, friends yelling, the smell of cheap fries drifting through the air. I stood in line with Dan and Marissa, arguing about who cheated in a stupid mobile game. Nothing important, nothing memorable. Then the first crack hit. Sharp, metallic, wrong. Students froze. The air turned into stone. Heads snapped in every direction. Then came the second, and the third, and the fourth. Screams erupted instantly. Dan grabbed my arm. "What the hell was that?" But I already knew. I didn't want to believe it, but I knew. Gunshots. Chaos ignited. Students shoved each other, sprinting for exits. Teachers yelled commands even they weren't sure about. "Everyone inside! Move! Move!" The cafeteria doors burst open as the crowd exploded into the hallways. The floor vibrated beneath the stampede of terrified footsteps. The hall lights flickered once, then again, as if the building itself was afraid. The multi-purpose room was supposed to be the safest place in the building. Thick walls, one entrance, reinforced lock. But when we ran inside, it didn't feel safe at all. Students packed the room wall to wall, trembling, crying, clutching their phones. A teacher slammed the door shut. "No one leaves this room!" The lights flickered. The air felt too still, too quiet. I moved toward the curtain, leaving just a thin crack to see outside. That's when I saw him. A pale man in a dirty brown jacket, standing perfectly still by the abandoned house across the street. His head slightly tilted, listening, waiting, and in his hand, a gun. Dan whispered, "They say he's a sex offender. Cops have been looking for him. He ran from a house down the street." I didn't answer. Couldn't. Because the man raised his chin and stared directly toward our window. Even though he couldn't see through the curtains, it felt like he could see me. Like his eyes were cutting straight through the room. The loudspeaker crackled violently. "Attention, students! An armed individual is on or near the school grounds. This is not a drill. Remain in a secure location. Do not approach exits." The principal's voice shook. That's how we knew. This wasn't a controlled lockdown. This was survival. Someone sobbed. Someone whispered a prayer. Someone else kept repeating, "This isn't happening. This isn't happening." Minutes dragged like hours. Every tiny noise sharpened into terror. A distant locker slamming, a cough in another hallway, footsteps, or maybe just the building shifting. But no one knew. No one dared speak. Then, a loud bang from somewhere in the hallway. The room froze. Another bang, closer. A girl clamped her hand over her mouth to stop a scream. The doorknob rattled. Once, twice, 3 times. Someone was trying the door. The teacher closest to it took a shaky step back, her hand trembling over her mouth. The rattling stopped. Silence swallowed the room again.
We waited in the dark, barely breathing. A few students stared at their phones, refreshing news feeds, but nothing appeared. No alerts, no updates. Just the hollow ache of fear growing in the room. Then, bang! A gunshot thundered through the hallway, so close it shook the floor beneath us. Someone screamed. Someone else collapsed to their knees. A teacher shouted, "Down! Everyone down!" The entire room dropped instantly. Dozens of bodies pressing into the cold tile floor. My cheek was against the ground, and I felt my own heartbeat shaking through it. All I could think was, he's in the building. He's inside. My vision blurred as adrenaline spiked through every nerve. Then, footsteps. Fast, heavy, running through the hallway outside our door, getting closer, closer, closer. And suddenly, they stopped. Silence returned, but it felt wrong. Too still, too intentional. Outside the room, new voices erupted, shouting commands, yelling directions. Police. I crawled back to the window crack. Flashing red and blue lights painted the courtyard. Officers crouched behind patrol cars, rifles raised. A negotiator aimed a megaphone toward the abandoned house. There were nearly a dozen officers now, moving fast, shouting louder. Then the man stepped out. The same man from earlier, the one with the gun, moving slowly from behind the bushes. He raised his hand, holding a phone, talking into it, breathing like a wild animal. His movements jerky, unhinged. Police shouted at him to stop, to drop the weapon, to get on the ground. He didn't listen. Inside our room, phones vibrated non-stop. Parents calling, friends texting, emergency alerts finally activating. Then one phone rang out loud. The room snapped to it instantly. It wasn't a parent. It wasn't a friend. No name, just unknown caller. A boy named Ethan answered, his hands shaking. "Hello?" Silence washed through the room. Everyone waited. Everyone listened. Ethan's face drained white. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. The phone slipped from his hands and clattered on the floor. He whispered. "It was him," he said. "I see you." A cold wave washed through all of us. How? He couldn't see inside. The curtains were closed. No lights, no movement. But fear doesn't follow logic. In that moment, it felt like he could see every single one of us. Outside, the shouting escalated. Officers moved in. The negotiator yelled louder. The man grew more agitated. Then, he started running. Toward the school, toward us. Police screamed commands, but he didn't stop. Another deafening gunshot split the air. His body dropped behind a cluster of bushes. Officers swarmed instantly, pinning him to the ground, securing the weapon. For a moment, a brief, fragile moment, we thought it was over. Then someone yelled, "There's another one!" The room gasped as one. Another man, another gun, another threat. The officer's voice tore across the courtyard. "We have 2 suspects! Second subject is armed!" My blood ran cold. 2 men, 2 guns, 2 predators. One outside and one possibly inside the school. Minutes crawled by like hours. Everyone stared at the door, the metal handle, the frame, the shadow beneath it. Then, it moved. The doorknob twisted slowly, deliberately, not rattling this time, turning, inch by inch. A girl whimpered. Someone else whispered, "He's inside. Oh my God, he's inside." The teacher braced herself against the door, her entire body shaking. The doorknob twisted harder, metal strained, the frame groaned. And then, a voice, A deep, rasping voice from the other side of the door. "I know you're in there." The room stopped breathing. Someone bit down on their sleeve to keep from screaming. Someone else slid under a table, sobbing into their knees. The voice came again, louder this time, angrier. "I see you." The words slithered into every corner of the room, cold, sharp, final. And just when it felt like the door was about to break open, boom! A blast rocked the hallway, a police flashbang. Officers stormed the corridor outside, shouting commands, boots slamming the ground. "Get on the ground! Drop the weapon! Now! Now!" Struggling, screaming, something heavy hitting the floor. The teacher cracked the door open. Officers knelt on top of a man dressed in dark clothing, his eyes wild, his face twisted with something between rage and madness. He wonders the man from outside. He was the second one, the one inside, the one who tried the door, the one who whispered to us. The sources was just noise, a distraction. This man was the real threat.
We were escorted out in groups, hundreds of us moving like ghosts through the halls. Some couldn't walk without help. Others stared blankly, their minds somewhere else. Outside, the world looked the same. Same sky, same buildings, same street. But everything felt different. Later, we learned the truth. The first man had been planning for days, watching us, studying camera blind spots, learning our schedule. But the second man, the one inside, had been in the school hours before the lockdown, hiding, waiting, walking the halls like a shadow. On his phone, police found maps of the school, door locations, emergency routes, lunch schedules, and worse, photos. Dozens of photos of students, taken from inside the school, taken from angles no one would notice, taken while we were unaware, taken while we were laughing, eating, living. Pictures of me, of Dan, of students standing by lockers. Photos taken earlier that same day. He had been here all morning, watching us long before the gunshots. Police said we were lucky, but luck didn't feel comforting, because one detail never left my mind. The second man had been on a call just minutes before the lockdown. A final message, a confirmation, a signal. A number the police still can't trace. A number that never called back, meaning someone else was involved. Someone who wasn't caught. Someone who knows the school just as well. Someone who is still out there. And the part that keeps me awake at night isn't the gunshots, or the lockdown, or the screams. It's knowing that the voice that whispered through the door, "I see you," wasn't meant for just that moment. It was a promise. Next time, we might not get away. If this story terrified you, imagine living it. This is Scary Loop, where true horror never ends. Subscribe if you want more. Send your own nightmare if you dare. But remember, some dangers don't disappear. Some shadows return. And some people are still watching. Sleep well, if you can.